I'm Marie, and this is the Revelation Station. And today we're going to be talking about what to look for in a healthy relationship. So maybe you are in a relationship at the moment, or you've been in a relationship, particularly if you've been in a bad relationship, a toxic relationship with a narcissist, or some other kind of unhealthy or dysfunctional relationship, or simply just a relationship that you did not like and do not want to repeat. Then in this video, I'm going to go through 3 things to look for in a relationship that are really going to be healthy and perhaps better than what you've experienced in the past. So the first thing to look for in a relationship is, if you think of a narcissist, let me just backtrack first of all. The kind of, I don't want to say the worst signs of a narcissist, but the 2 key things that all narcissists have, which are really difficult to be in a relationship with when someone has these, and that's a lack of empathy and a lack of responsibility. So the first thing I suggest when looking for a loving, healthy relationship is to look for what I call the anti narcissist. And this is somebody that is the opposite of a narcissist. So if you think of somebody narcissistic that perhaps you have had a relationship with, and just get a sense of all of the negative things that you experience, like the negative traits that they had. For example, lack of empathy, lying, cheating, talking down to you, putting you down, and then basically flip that. So the anti-narcissist would be the complete opposite of all of those negative traits. So instead of having a lack of empathy, you're looking for somebody with empathy. Instead of looking for somebody that's lying, you look for somebody honest. Instead of somebody who doesn't take responsibility and the blame and everything is just put on one person, put on you, you look for somebody that takes responsibility, that owns up when they make a mistake, and is, looking to work with other people in the best way that they can. So you're really looking for the anti-narcissist. Ask yourself, instead of thinking, oh, I don't want to date another narcissist, I don't want to date another cheater, ask yourself, what do you want instead of that? What is the positive trait that you would be looking for instead of that negative trait that you've experienced in the past? And then when it comes to dating and finding love, these are the traits that you can be looking for. You can almost create a shopping list of traits and be looking for those traits in that other person. And when you find some, great, perfect, you can keep on getting to know them. But do they have all the traits on your list, or just some of the traits? And so when you know what you are looking for, you can start to almost be more objective about it, rather than getting intoxicated with the highs of a new relationship, or being kind of committing to something too soon, or something like that, or creating a fantasy out of this person. If you literally have the list of what you're looking for, then you can bring some objectivity into it, observe that person, and actually decide if they have those things that you are looking for. Now, in my program, Love Life, which will become a course eventually, we get really, really clear on what it is you are looking for. And that is the first step. And a big part of that is becoming very clear on what you don't want, but not just leaving it there. Like I said, flipping it on its head and getting clear about what it is that you do want, and start looking for those qualities in other people. Now, the second thing to look for is actually not something to look for out there with your eyes. It's something to feel for in here with your heart, but not just with your heart, also with your intuition and with your senses. It's how you feel around that person is what it comes down to. And you might want to think about how you want to feel around somebody in a romantic sense. Do you want to feel safe? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel loved? Do you want to feel supported? What is it that you want to feel? Because all of these 4 things I've listed are not things that you tend to feel in a relationship with a narcissist. So you might want to think back to previous relationships and think about how you actually felt around them. Perhaps how you felt at the beginning of the relationship, but also once the relationship was established, how you felt. You might have felt like super high and lots of chemistry and attraction at the beginning, and then felt really unstable and anxious as the relationship developed. Did you feel safe to communicate? Did you feel safe to be vulnerable and share your innermost thoughts and feelings with them? And get a sense of how you really want to feel. And then when you are dating people, when you're meeting people, you can start to question and ask yourself, how do I feel around them? Is that how I want to feel around them? And it's not just about how you feel around them, it's also how you feel about them and towards them. Because so often, especially if you experience chemistry with somebody, you can start to worry about whether they like you and what they think about you. And your focus is kind of on establishing the relationship or establishing a sense of security within that relationship. But we can do that too soon before we even know if this is the relationship we want to be established in, and if this is a person we want to be established with. And so you can also feel for how you feel about this person. Do you like them? Taking romance out of it completely, is this a person that you like? Do you like their qualities? Do you like their values? Do you like the way that they treat other people? Do you like the way that they treat you? And this really will lead me into the third thing to look for, because it's all very well to treat someone wonderfully when we first met them and we're trying to make a good impression. But the third thing to look for when you are dating and finding love, or just to look for in a relationship you're already in, is consistency. So how does this person behave over time? How do they behave from one day to the next, from 1 week to the next, from one challenge to the next, and from one great experience to the next? Is there a level of consistency about this person and with this person, or are you on some kind of emotional roller coaster? And when you start to look for consistency, then you can pretty much take yourself off that roller coaster and realize if that is something that you want for yourself and want for your life. And if it's not, then you can step off the roller coaster and get yourself back onto solid ground. Metaphorically speaking, leave the relationship. I want to share a story with you about this consistency over time, because when I was dating after a couple of the serious relationships I had with narcissists, I started to become interested in a neighbor of mine, and we got talking when he was washing his car, and he had a son His son was quite young, about 5, 6 years old. And he was teaching his son how to wash the car with a hose, which you can imagine would be quite difficult when you're so small. And his son made a mistake and got it wrong in his eyes. And this man crouched down to his son's level, and he was really reassuring, and he was telling him, "You've done your best. I think you've done really well," and just really giving him a confidence boost. And it really impressed me at the time. And so if we're looking at things to look for, like the anti-narcissist, all of these were amazing qualities. So he passed the first test. He got a tick. The second thing to look for, how you feel around this person. Feeling really safe, able to make mistakes. Again, he got a tick for that. So fast forwarding on, when we're looking at consistency, after a couple of weeks, we had some drinks in a bar, and he overheard something. And then when we went home, it really played on his mind and angered him. I'm adapting this story a little bit. But he came across something he didn't like. And when we got back to his apartment, he punched the wall in front of me. And so what I mean by consistency is, does this person behave how you would want this person to behave over time? And is this something you want to be around over time? Because it's all very well making a great impression, but impressions are not real. We actually need to get to the heart and the reality of a situation in order to make a good decision for ourselves. So you can start to look at what is a green light for you, what is something where you think, yeah, I like this, I want to find out more about this person, but framing it as I want to find more about this person rather than, oh, I am all in, this is perfect. Because we actually don't know. We need time to really get to know somebody. I often say narcissists do not pass the test of time, and that is because they cannot keep up this good impression all the time. Obviously, we all have our negative moments, but we need to know what are the limits for us. And things like physical violence, even if it's towards a wall, is a hard limit and should be a hard limit. And so really knowing what it is for you that you want, and really feeling how it feels to be around someone, and feeling what you think about that person rather than what they might be thinking about you. And then looking at this consistency, and not just first impressions, but an impression of this person over a period of time. And it really doesn't have to be long. People show who they are relatively quickly in a relationship, especially once you're spending time with them. Within a few weeks, you will 100% have a lot of information to base a better decision on, rather than choosing to be all in on something and then finding that you fall flat on your face because you didn't have all the information. So that's the 3 things to look for, and one of them is something to feel for, not look for. I'm curious to know what it is that you look for in a relationship, and how this video has perhaps given you some ideas of some other things to look and feel for in a relationship. And if you're interested to dive deeper into this with me, check out the Love Life course coming soon and program at revelationtherapy.com. And I'm also going to make another couple of videos. So I'm going to make a video on how to deal with red flags when you do come across them. What do you actually do? How do you navigate that? And I'm also going to be sharing a couple of my husband's red flags with you as well. When we first started dating, there were a couple of things that were questionable. Should I be pursuing a relationship with this person? And now we are happily married more than 5 years. So the answer was yes. But I'm going to be sharing what those red flags were and how I navigated them. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and that it's got the cogs spinning and given you some ideas on what to look and feel for in a healthy relationship. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. For now, take care.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so that you're notified every time I upload a new weekly video. If you head on over to revelationtherapy.com, I've also created a few free resources for you to help you on your healing journey. There's currently a free workbook and a checklist, and I'm adding to those all the time. So be sure to check those out. I'll leave the link in the description below. And if you have any questions at all, you can find me on most social media channels at Revelation Therapy. For now, sending you so many positivities to help you on your healing journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.